Sup, nerds, and welcome to Powerful, a power metal podcast. We've got a very special episode for you today. We've got me, Kyle, joined by Andrew.
Hello. Is everything special?
It's always a special time.
It's always a special day. That's true.
Especially when we're joined by a Mr. Joey Hockin, who's here to talk to us about Hyperspace Metal Festival. Joey, say hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Doing good. Awesome to have you here on a beautiful Sunday.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. This is really cool.
Thanks for reaching out to us.
Have you been on a metal podcast before? Is this the first time?
No, I haven't.
Oh, sick.
No, I've done YouTube interviews and stuff, like local stuff, but no podcasts like this. So this is new ground for me.
It's the same deal. It's all the same.
Yeah.
You're just talking a bunch of shit for a while.
We probably just sound stupider because we're not face to face, if we're being truthful.
Well, I think we'll be just fine. Now, Joey, if you listened to much of our interviews in the past, you know we're contractually obligated to kick things off asking you about your top 4 power metal bands. Now, no judgment will be applied, at least by us, but just as a warm up, I have to ask you this.
All right, that is number 1, definitely Unleash the Archers, hometown boys and girls,
hometown heroes,
and they're just amazing. Yeah, Apex is probably my favorite album of all time. It's incredible. I would throw Symphony X in there. They're a huge thing on me. Like, for my own band, they were definitely the band that kind of influenced me to start going in a heavier direction away from like a standard power metal sound, which is kind of my jam. Past that, I guess Iced Earth I'll throw in there. And I gotta pick a band.
The fourth one's always the hard one.
Yeah. It's 4 is a weird number, but I see why you did it now. Firewind, I guess. I really like that.
A good pick. Yeah,
that's a pick.
I don't know if we've ever gotten a Firewind on that before.
I don't think we have. That's a bit out of left field.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I'm not super familiar with Firewind except for their Maniac cover. That's about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, they're dope. I started listening to them right before Gus got picked up to play with Ozzy, and that kind of moved them up the list of the bands I was going to spend more time listening to.
Alrighty, well, now we've got the easy stuff out of the way. Let's talk about the main event here. Let's talk about Hyperspace. So how did this whole big Vancouver metal festival get started?
It kind of started with I was just trying to think of what I'd be able to do with my own band Apprentice, like what kind of plans we could and like goals we had going forward. And the thing about the festival scene in North America is a lot of it is very old school. Like you got the Ragnarocker, Legions of Metal, Frost and Fire, etc. Mm-hmm. And then there's a lot of death metal stuff. Like in Vancouver, even we had the Modified Ghost Festival, which is awesome, but my band doesn't fit. We'll never play that. And then there was also like a stoner metal festival announced called Out for a Riff, which was really cool. But again, my band will never play it. And I was just like, man, there's kind of a hole. There's a bit of a niche that needs to be filled here. And I had been doing shows in Vancouver on a local level for a couple of years. So I was like, I guess I'll get to work, because I guess if anyone's going to do it, it's me.
Yeah, because you own Journeyman Productions, who does a lot of the metal shows around Vancouver and supporting the bands there, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Journeyman Productions is me. My buddy Colton, I brought him on board a couple of years ago. He plays in Thousand Arrows. He's also played Hyperspace. We just had a big festival last night, like a local shindig called New Year's Winterfest. It's like the yearly kickoff, and it was incredible. Colton really knocked it out of the park there. So it's mainly the two of us. We had another person, Nikki, helping us out for a while. She's doing her own thing now. And then my drummer, Kyle, is going to be on board soon too. So it's kind of a collective. But yeah, I started that, I think almost 4 years ago now. My first show was with Stryker.
Oh, nice.
That's a good first show.
Yeah, it was big. I lost money, way she goes.
That's the metal show way, I suppose.
Yeah, well, especially when you're learning, it's you got to go through it before you kind of know what you're doing.
And now you're what, 5-ish, 6+ festivals deep? It's pretty good for 4 years.
So this is the third Hyperspace. And we also work on a yearly end show called Deathmas Festivus, which is like big local show for the food bank in Vancouver. We do it at the start of December. Colton has the New Year's Winterfest, which has become an annual thing that's really cool. I'm also involved with Armstrong Metal Festival, which is like a camping festival out in the interior in BC. That's a lot of fun every year.
It sounds like the metal scene is pretty alive and well in BC there then.
It's incredible. Honestly, like the quality of the bands up here just constantly blows me away. Like I was at the show last night and I was like, wow, this is as good as any tour that comes through. It was like the talent and the quality of all the bands here and the professionalism, everything is just constantly blowing me away, and it gets me really excited about it, and that's why I keep working on it.
Are there certain subgenres that are more prevalent than others? Like Hyperspace is focused on the more melodic style stuff. You mentioned like a stoner festival. What seems to be what people gravitate to?
One thing I really like about the Vancouver scene is the diversity in it, and I think the bands that kind of do really well here are the bands that kind of carve out their own sound. Like there's certain different like blends of genres and stuff. Like I find those are the bands that really excel. Like you look at like West of Hell and like Neck of the Woods and even Unleash the Archers, and then Archspire. I don't know if they're like different styles, but they definitely have a very unique sound, and they're out kicking ass all over the world.
Yeah, I know Archers is one where we kind of think part of their like secret to success has been taking power metal and then blending it with like the like sort of mellow deathy deathcore type genre as well.
Yeah, in a very tasteful way. I love the way they do
Tastefully done, yes.
Yes. So back to the original question of how I got Hyperspace started was, yeah, I just kind of got to work and I started contacting bands and venues and stuff to see if it was even like a feasible thing to do, and everything just like fell into place remarkably well. So the first year was really cool. It was still more of like a local kind of thing. I flew Helium Prime up for that, and then other than that, it was mostly BC, Alberta bands.
I think you guys had the one show where Helium Prime played with Sozos Michael.
That's correct. Yes, the only time that he played with Helium Prime. So that's a really cool thing to have on my belt. And then, yeah, I've just been trying to grow the festival every year and trying to be smart about it. And Hyperspace 4 is already coming together really well, and I got some new tactics I'm trying to throw in, like grants and fundraiser shows and things like that, trying to grow the festival in any way I can, grow it year after year.
When you're organizing the fest, what things are a lot of work behind the scenes that audiences or people attending the fest might not really think about or know about?
The promotion aspect of it is like, it's definitely on another level from local shows. Local shows, there's only so much that it makes sense to do. Like, you know, putting an ad on Metal Injection for a local show doesn't make sense at all. But when it comes to a festival like this, where I'm trying to get people to actually show up from all, like, you know, California, etc., there's a lot of different options for advertising kind of thing. So I've been, you know, I got John Asher on board to help me with the PR. You know, I'm doing stuff through Blastbeat Network, and there's a lot of like graphic design and things like that. And like, there's a lot to handle from that regard, especially compared to doing like a local show.
Yeah, you got to bring in a bigger audience to justify the cost then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got me coming from California, so something's
yeah,
working.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, like Power Glove and Archers, those two bands, the last time they were here, they like the audience, if the audience at Hyperspace is that big, at least, then I'll be fine. And I'm hoping it'll be significantly larger. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. You're up to 3 days now, right?
Yeah, so that was kind of cool how that worked out. Last year I did 2 days. First year I did 2 days as well. Then this year I was going to do 2 days with like a pre-party show kind of thing. And then Mayo, the other promoter in Vancouver, well, one of the other promoters in Vancouver, he mostly handles like a lot of the bigger tours that come through. He works with like, you know, Finbert and Continental and stuff. And he taught me a lot of what I know about promoting. And he landed the Power Glove tour on the Sunday, actually a week earlier. So I moved the festival back a week, and we agreed to make the Power Glove show day 3 of the festival. And then I took basically the lineup I had that was going to be the pre-party, and I just tacked that onto his show as the support acts. And it just kind of worked out like that. And then we worked out a deal for splitting the 3-day passes. So we're co-proing the festival, co-promoting. Sorry, I'm using lingo here. Yeah, so it's really cool how that worked out. And yeah, I put my band playing with Power Glove on that night because it's not my show, because playing your own show is like twice as much work, and I hate doing it. I love doing it, but I hate doing it. So that's why I kind of put myself on that night, so to have less stress.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
There's less management involved. Don't have to micromanage everyone else while also making sure your shit gets out.
Yeah,
sort of
I'm
thing.
dealing with both the rented backline and my own band's gear and merch and all that.
Yeah. So, what part of organizing a metal festival do you think brings you the most satisfaction? When it all comes together, when the show's actually going on?
There's kind of two things for me, I guess, personally. One is the fact that I got to pick the lineup is really cool, because, you know, I got to think from a promoter's perspective, like what bands are going to bring the most people in and all that. But, you know, I'm a fan as well, and that's why I'm doing this. And so I do get to like just kind of here and there, I just pick a band that I really want to see, because I know other people want to see them too. And like, so like this year coming up, I've never seen Immortal Guardian, which I'm really excited about. When they're on the Power Glove tour, when Mayo told me he got them, I was more excited about them than Power Glove, because I've seen Power Glove a dozen times. I love them, but Immortal Guardian, I am going to lose my mind during their set. And Dire Peril I've also never seen. They actually approached me about playing the festival, which was really cool. So there's that, and then also just the satisfaction that there's a lot of people that don't go to local shows because they're not really into death metal. So giving them, like, you know, finally throwing them a bone and giving them a show to get excited about, and just seeing the way the community is growing, and, you know, seeing people traveling from out of town is really cool. And like there's like almost like community within the Hyperspace following that's kind of developing. That's really cool to see, because that's my favorite thing about festivals. I've been to countless festivals, and that's always the best part, is the people and the traditions that kind of form out of that.
Yeah, and Hyperspace being a pretty young festival, that's all kind of starting to take root now. Our buddy Mike lives in Vancouver, and he's been trying to get us to go since day one. So
right on.
He finally won out.
Nice. Well, thank you, Mike. Doing some legwork for me. Thanks.
Was any one band particularly hard to get this year in terms of like maybe their scheduling or budgetary shenanigans?
Archers I have been trying to get for a while, and they changed booking agents a couple times. I tried really hard to get them on the first year and the second year, and then finally they're with Steph now in Continental, and the timing was just right. So when I finally confirmed them, that was like the biggest accomplishment for me, because it took years to actually nail them down, and they're really excited about the fest too. Brittany performed at the first festival with Helion Prime. They did the Dire Peril song, Queen of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
We actually were watching some like
The live stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Helium Prime live stream the show.
Oh, yeah, that's
So
right,
we got
too.
to we got to watch a shitty phone propped up in the back of the venue that actually didn't sound all that bad, all things considered.
Yeah, I might try and get some better footage going for next year. I know Ravenous, the first year, they had like a professional film crew out. And I know there's a couple bands, I won't say yet, that are going to have professional filming as well this year coming up. But I also might get just some friends in Vancouver to try and get some good footage, and maybe get a soundboard recording and
that's rad.
Put some quality together, so people that aren't there can kind of see what the festival's all about.
Yeah, it's super rad. I know Paladin recorded a video at their Prog Power show last year, and that was super cool.
Yeah.
And it was like super bizarre seeing myself in the audience in a fucking like multi-thousand view music video too.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing myself or in one, forget it, who was Pagan's Mind or Mystic Prophecy or something like that at Prog Power USA. I remember seeing myself.
Yeah, I remember watching the Paladin show and just seeing like all the cameras like flying around and stuff. It just makes it an extra special experience, I think.
Yeah, it adds a level of excitement. Yeah, and I'm really stoked for Paladin, the way they blew up. Like that, they came out of nowhere.
Yeah. And then they got on like 3 national tours.
Yeah, like bam, like someone in their camp is doing their job.
Yeah, shout outs to Taylor and Alex for sure.
Yeah.
So, you guys are already I'll say only on your 3rd year and already up to 3 days long. That seems like a lot of growth and success for the festival so far.
Yeah, like I said, it just kind of worked out really well this year. I don't know if we're going to keep the same formula going forward. It's pretty ambitious. I don't want to get ahead of myself. But yeah, this year, just the way everything came together, it blows my mind how well it worked. It's almost like it's just something that needed to happen, and once I started doing it, a bunch of people just got right behind it, and that's what gave it the momentum it needed.
I mean, hey, that works. It's what's funny is the festival Mad with Power is also bumping up their number of days this year. Is there maybe a bit of a rivalry going on there with you and Ty?
No, absolutely not. I'd say the opposite. We're like an alliance. I had a long conversation with him a couple months ago, just asking him about his ideas for the festival, kind of sharing ideas. We're going to be working together. We have some cool cross promotional ideas we're actually coming up with. We might do like a compilation CD that we'll hand out at each festival with bands from both festivals, kind of thing. And the festivals are far enough apart, we're hoping we can convince people to go to both festivals every year, kind of thing.
Well, because speaking to that, we're also planning on going to Mad with Power this year, I think.
Yeah. I would love to make it out. I don't know if I can, but I do really want to go to that festival one year. Ty he's a pro. He's a really good resource for me, and watching him the way he's growing his festival has been a huge inspiration for me.
Yeah, just as an American who likes melodic metal shenanigans, seeing these two festivals really like growing in the last few years is so much fun. Yeah,
it's really exciting.
And then there's Rapid Fire Fest coming up on the East Coast right now too. They're 2 or 3 years in, I think.
Oh, I don't even know about that one. I'm going to look that one up.
Yeah, that's in North Carolina.
Okay. In Raleigh?
Yeah. They did a cross promo thing with Ty this last year too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, who did they have? They had Paladin, I think, because
they got Paladin.
They had Shadow Strike.
Shadow Strike.
Oh yeah, Shadow Strike's dope.
It was like almost like a semi sneak peek at Mad with Power this year.
Yeah.
Plus other bands.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah, I'll have to get in touch with those guys too. Oh, and that's in November, so that's like kind of, we got almost like spring, summer, and fall covered.
Yeah.
On like each side of the country as well.
Yeah. Cool.
We need one in the Southwest too. Maybe that's where Powerful Fest comes in, I guess.
Yeah, Powerful Fest.
Yeah.
Winter.
Is that one in the winter? Because then we could have all 4 seasons.
Winter in Arizona. Bing, bang, boom.
Nice. Wow. Cool. That worked out.
All right. Good job, team.
Yeah. Go team. And that's the cool thing about this is we really are a team. There's no animosity, you know, there's honestly not a lot of money in it. So there's no reason to be like competitive and capitalistic about this. Like we're really all just trying to help each other. As Ty said, a rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like, this is the kind of thing where it's not that popular. You're not going to get rich off of it. So it's just, we're doing this because it's cool.
Yeah. And that's what we're trying to do is increase the popularity of it so it becomes more feasible to do this going forward.
Yeah, I know. Pretty much all my vacations are spent going to metal festivals at this point. So I'm always telling people, oh, yeah, there's this cool thing. And then no one wants to go because they're afraid.
Yeah, same. I've been on the 70,000 tons a bunch of times, and it's just the ultimate vacation.
Never been on 70,000 tons, but the people at Prog Power are always saying how great it is. So that'll have to be one of these days.
It's fantastic.
It's just a boat, and it's full of metal, I suppose.
Yeah, a lot of metal. Like, there's days it's going like 10 a.m. to 6 a.m. It's crazy.
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a marathon. Get your money's worth.
With all these fests we've been talking about, what do you think is it about Hyperspace that's like uniquely you guys that makes Hyperspace like the very special festival that it is?
I think what sets us apart is it's the central focus is power metal. Like even like I would even say modern power metal, like the more melodic styles, like, you know, Firewind and Dragon Force, and you know, so that definitely sets us apart from all the old school true metal festivals. And then we're also not afraid to throw in other genres that fit, kind of thing. So like there's some bands that might be playing Hyperspace that might not play one of those other festivals. Like we had West of Hell. They're not exactly power metal, but they fit. And then, you know, we're getting some folk metal, and we'll probably throw some prog in, some thrash and stuff, just things that fit with power metal. Like power metal fans will absolutely enjoy every band on the bill, I think, but I'm not strictly sticking to that. And just the fact that we're in Canada, and Vancouver is such a beautiful place. Like there's hikes that are like a short bus ride away and stuff. I really hope people, if they're coming from out of town, they take the time to enjoy the city as well. The venue itself isn't in the best part of town. I don't know how much you know about the crisis on the West Coast that's happening right now, but Vancouver itself is a beautiful city. So I hope people take the time to enjoy that.
You guys have been at the same venue at the Rickshaw all 3 years. Any strict attachment to that? Are you going to keep it going there?
Yeah, as long as Mo lets me do the festival there, I'm going to keep doing it there because just like I've done shows at a lot of different venues, and the team at the Rickshaw is just top notch. Like every single show I've ever done there, including the last 2 nights, the New Year's Winterfest was there. Every single show runs within 5 minutes of the schedule that I give them.
Oh, that's rad.
And the sounds there is unreal. Hyperspace last year, the Hyperspace 2 was the first show on the new sound system that they had, and it's incredible. Like there's nowhere else I'd rather do it. Even if the festival grows to the point where it's selling out the Rickshaw, I'd be hesitant to even move it to a bigger venue just because I like working with them so much.
Yeah, I mean, even if you move to that bigger one, if it's just makes the show fall apart, then you got to keep that in mind too.
Yeah, exactly. And Mo's all about supporting music too. He's a business mastermind. I think he has a master's of business, but he's all about promoting the music, and he covers his costs and he does well while he's at it. But like, given his talent set, he could be making a lot more money at a bigger venue. But he's really passionate about music, and that's why we love him, and I love working with him.
In terms of growing the fest from other standpoints, would you look to pull in bigger bands, try to pull in bands from around the world? Like we've seen melodic metal taking off in other parts of the world. You know, Latin America gets big, Japan gets big. Any hopes of pulling people from there, or is it probably just too expensive?
There is hopes. Like for this year and next year, I would say it's not quite feasible yet. But if the festival grows to the point where I'm selling out the Rickshaw, then it probably would be feasible to. My goal is to definitely. I want to bring a big band in from Europe, like a big legendary band, just to like drive the point home that this is like a staple in the power metal scene. And I was looking at some bands over there, and it's not quite within my reach yet, but I do really hope to get there. And like I said, there's other resources like Canada in general is really good about grant money to support the arts and stuff.
Yeah, so you don't have to deal with the whole U.S. visa bullshit being in Canada.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's super easy to bring bands in from the States. Ever since they made an exception in the temporary foreign workers policy thing that screwed us over for like a year, and then now it's better than it's ever been.
So what are some of your dream bands for the fest? If you had to list off 1 or 2 or 3. Perfect world. Who do you bring in?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the number one dream band would be Demons and Wizards. That would be the coolest thing ever. Because they outright said that North American tour that they did last year, that's the only time they're ever going to tour North America. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to do festival dates.
One-offs, yeah.
Yeah.
Here and there.
So I don't know if that'll ever be possible, but that's my number one dream band. And you know, I'd love to have Blind Guardian. I'd love to have like Dragon Force. You know, just the power metal elite. Getting some of them on the festival would be a dream.
Yeah, well, maybe Dragon Force could be doable. I mean, they're touring with Archers like a month before. They can start laying the groundwork.
I'm hoping they do. If Brittany, Grant, Andrew, if you guys are listening, put in a word for me. Let them know about the festival. I think they already know, actually. I think I saw a couple of them are following the festival already.
And they seem pretty in tune with the power metal world in general.
Yeah, they're great guys. They pay attention. They like supporting up and coming bands too. It's really cool.
And they do all their crazy stuff on Twitch these days, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Super crazy. I just can't get over the fact that they're going to stream every show on this tour.
That's smart.
It's like next level
with the way the industry is changing. It's we're in a difficult time right now, but we're also in a really exciting time because there's all these new possibilities that every year there's new things coming out that bands are doing to make it, quote unquote, and it's really cool to watch because there's a lot of room for creativity on the business end. of being in a band these days.
You guys could stream, do an official stream of Hyperspace if you get the camera and audio setup working.
Yeah, that's one thing we were thinking about. I definitely need to expand my team if I'm gonna start doing other things like that. Like, yeah, hopefully the other guys at Journeyman will help me out in some regards with that, because I would love to start doing things like that.
Yeah, that way it's not just someone's phone at the back recording Helion Prime like we were watching.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is a shame that we didn't get better footage of that set, actually, especially considering how exclusive it was.
Yeah, you didn't really know at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
What would you tell to maybe some of the up and coming bands, people starting out right now who are looking to get booked at these festivals that are also up and coming right now, maybe outside of their hometowns or even outside of their own countries?
Just make sure your online game is on point, like things with artwork and social media posting and engagement, and have good recordings, like, because there's so much good music out there that your music needs to be at a certain quality level for people to even give it the time of day. Especially in North America, production is a very important thing. Just look at Symphony X. They didn't really get big in North America until they started having really, really pro production kind of thing. And then, yeah, just get out there, tour, get your name out. If I know about your band, like if I know your name, then you're doing good. That's like kind of the first step. And then just the more you prove that you'd be worth bringing out, that's you're going in the right direction. And yeah, if logistically, if you're able to plan a tour around the festival, that makes it a lot more likely that we'd be able to get you on here, because unless you're a headliner, we can't exactly cover all of your travel costs and stuff. But if you're touring around the festival, and just let me know. But also keep in mind that there aren't very many festivals like Hyperspace and Mad with Power around, so there's a lot of bands that want to play, and it's easy to get lost. And I'm sorry if I don't answer all my emails and stuff. It's a challenge to keep up with it. And I like to hand pick the lineup anyways. I don't like doing the submissions thing. So when bands contact me, I'll look at it, but I already kind of have in my mind what I want the lineup to look like. So that's kind of more what I go off of than actual like submissions.
Yeah, because you're trying to curate like a variety and make for a good show at the same time.
Yeah, and I have a very specific vision of what I want Hyperspace to be. It's not like Armstrong Metal Festival where it's just metal in general and like kind of any genre goes. It's I have a very specific thing in mind that I want to do with Hyperspace. So that's why I like to just kind of pick the lineup myself.
This is a random thought that just came to mind for me. How did you pick the name Hyperspace?
Yeah, that was, I'm trying to even remember. I remember I was riding in the car with my drummer Kyle, and I was trying to think of just a name that would kind of instantly describe and kind of have something, like put a picture in your mind of what kind of thing I'm going for. And there's definitely been a shift in power metal lately away from fantasy themes and more towards kind of sci-fi themes. I don't know if you've noticed that the last little while, but it's been a big shift. So I just kind of wanted to punctuate that with the name and be like, this is like the new era of power metal, and there's the new wave of power metal bands that are coming out. Like, all these bands, Judicator, Helion Prime, Seven Kingdoms, Immortal Guardian, Nova Rain, etc., etc. Like it's a lot of things are happening all at once very recently, and yeah, a lot of sci-fi themes with that. And that, so I wanted to tie the festival to that kind of movement that we have going on. It's almost like the Nawabum movement. I think we need a name to describe what's going on here with all those bands I just listed.
Yeah, I know we've called it like the new wave of North American power metal, which is a bit wordy.
Nuanapum.
Yeah, the Nawapum.
Yeah,
it doesn't quite work as well as Nawabahim or however it's supposed to be pronounced.
Yeah. Or Nawatham, that whole thing going on.
Yeah. And well, the Nawatham, again, that's kind of something separate. I don't want to distance myself from that, but that's kind of covered as far as festivals go.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
there's a lot of crossover, but there's definitely already a fairly big presence.
And a lot of bands that are playing those festivals will wind up playing Hyperspace, and already have. But there's the kind of the point of Hyperspace is to give an opportunity to bands like Apprentice, my band, shameless plug, a festival to play on, because we probably wouldn't be able to get on Legions of Metal. I don't think we're old school enough.
You're not like the true metal, right?
No, I don't think you guys are TRVE metal enough for that.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you're very power melodethy.
Yeah, and not that I don't
Compared
like
to-
that. I love all those bands, like, you know.
Yeah, compared to say like Eternal Champion, who is like
Yeah,
poster child
yeah.
Legions of Metal right now.
We played with Eternal Champion in Victoria actually last year. It was incredible.
Oh, that sounds rad.
Yeah.
When I think hyperspace, I also think like, okay, we're jumping to hyperspace. We're going really fast, and power metal is fast. So there you go.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, definitely. It fits the genre.
Well, I think it definitely works as a good name. We can start calling this the hyperspace movement then, and then Bob's your uncle.
Oh, boom.
Yeah.
You got
Hey,
it.
there we go. Let's maybe that could be the thing. Let's call it that.
You got to have your branding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was your idea, not mine. So let's go with that.
We'll take
Trademarks.
credit for all of the good ideas.
Boom.
Yeah. Nice.
Don't dispute our trademark.
Okay.
Topical humor.
We can rename the podcast to the hyperspace podcast and everything.
Yeah.
We'll have to
And-
get a new business cards, new patches, and everything. That's getting expensive here now.
Yeah. Well, that's on you guys.
Fair enough. I think, is there anything else for this year you're particularly stoked for? I mean, the show is going to be here before we know in a few months.
Yeah, I'm just really excited to see all the people traveling from out of town. There's definitely always been that on the festival, but I think this year we're going to see a huge increase in that and kind of establish this as like an international festival. And I'm just kind of stoked to meet as many people as I can from out of town, see where people are coming from. I love that people get excited about the festival. That in itself is the most rewarding thing.
Do you have like stats based on like ticket sales where you see people buying from?
I think I can get that. A lot of people wind up paying at the door, which we can't really collect data on that, but I think we can get a bit. But I also just look at like, the engagement on social media and stuff. You can see pretty easily there where people are from. I know I'm from Calgary, so I got my crew in Calgary. They always show up. They're always awesome. I love seeing those guys every year because I don't get to see them as often anymore since I moved out here. And of course, a lot of the 70K family, a lot of them show up every year. They're very dear to me because I spent basically my entire 20s going on that festival. So that's like a big international family that we have.
That's what I've noticed with these festivals is that it's always the family. Like people get really close at these things.
Yeah. And that's one thing I'm really trying to get going with this festival, because to me, that's what makes a good festival great.
Yeah, because I think people get really passionate about metal in particular. And then being that sort of like less mainstream thing, I think they forge those bonds a lot stronger with the people who are into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just like, oh, we're going to go to this festival and get high and maybe there'll be some cool bands. It's like, no, this is a thing.
Yeah, it's something that we share. It's special in a weird way.
And you'll also go and you'll get high and you'll see some cool bands. But you'll do it
Well,
with
that's
your
not
brothers.
happening.
Yeah.
Especially here in Vancouver, we have a reputation here for the getting high.
Well, when you put it bluntly.
Hey.
Well, that's the metal way.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I've got one more question.
Yep.
It's a two-part question.
Okay.
And I guess it's really just a one-part question. Who are you looking forward to seeing most this year at your own festival? Who are you most excited to see?
Oh, that's difficult.
Is it Apprentice?
Well, I don't get to see Apprentice. No, I would say I am most excited to see Archers because I think they're going to be playing some new material. They just finished recording the follow-up to Apex, and I think it's going to be the debut of some new material. I don't quote me on that. I can't officially say that, but as a fan, I think that's what's going on, and so that gets me really excited. Also, I'd say Viathan. I don't know if you're familiar with that band.
We're familiar.
Okay, good. Yeah, they were the band that got me excited about local metal. Back in 2009, I saw them open for Stradivarius at empty nightclub in the dead of, well, it wasn't dead, it was cold. It was September in Calgary, and that was what made me realize, hey, there's kick-ass bands right in my own town. Like, I don't have to wait to see bands coming over from Finland, and that got me going to like lots of local shows and stuff. And they kind of fizzled out. They busted their ass for a few years, and then they decided to take a break. And I think it's been 3 years since they've played a show.
Jake said he's working on some new stuff.
Yep, that's a thing. And I'm just really excited that I got to bring them out of retirement and that I got to see them again, because they've always been one of my favorite locals. And hopefully they keep the momentum going. This isn't just a one-off. We'll see about that.
Yeah, you'd had Ravenous the last couple of years, so I guess mixing it up with Viathan this year.
On
the Jake bands.
Yeah, exactly. Jake and Dave, the drummer. That worked out really great, because when Ravenous did their crowdfunder and when they were on tour and stuff, they did a few dates with Ailstorm. They've played here, Hyperspace. They've been giving out the Viathan CDs and selling them and stuff. So that alone, like, Ravenous's momentum has managed to get the Viathan name going again, despite them kind of not doing a lot the last few years. So the timing worked out really well to bring them back.
All right. Well, I know those are two I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, we'll keep this rolling. Kyle, who are you looking forward to most?
Let me look at the picture. Unleash the Archers. I've seen one of their shows and it was really great. I'll be seeing them with Dragon Force as well.
Nice.
Power Glove. I've liked Power Glove since I was in like high school. So getting to see them live finally, I think will be really cool. And
nice.
Helion Prime. This will be my, I think, 4th time seeing Helion Prime, but they're always good. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, no, Nova Rain. That's going to be the one, because those guys are fucking insane live.
Oh, they've got a song coming out soon.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Probably a single.
Nice.
Relatively soon, I believe.
Yeah, we played with them like a year and a half ago. They came to Journeyman just looking for a tour date, and I don't get a lot of power metal bands like that just coming through, given where our geographical location compared to where the genre itself is popular. So I got really excited about that. I threw my own band on the bill and wound up being a good show. It was like a Wednesday night, but it was a great show. But I was just blown away by them. They're incredible.
And I think my dark horse pick would be Lycanthro.
Oh yeah.
After we met the guy at Prague Power last year.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. I've never seen them, but they impressed me online and stuff. And I was talking to James quite a bit, and they're planning a tour around the festival. I'm stoked to see them.
Yeah, Andrew, what's your pick for this year?
I think my number one's going to be Viathan. I'm really excited to see Viathan. I'd love to see Helion Prime and Nova Rain again. That'll be fun. I've seen Helion Prime like 4 times now, but they're always fun, and maybe they'll do some more new stuff because they're writing their new album now, I think.
They are, yeah.
Something like that.
The new Mary album, so maybe we'll get to hear some of that.
Yeah.
Nova Rain's got their new stuff in the pipe right now, so hopefully we'll get to hear some of that. And I'm really interested to see Power Glove. I've been listening to them off and on for years now, and I don't think I've ever seen them. So this will be a good time.
Nice.
All right. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a hell of a festival in a couple months here.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I'm really excited.
I think that is pretty much everything I had as far as interview questions for you. So if you want to give like a final word or a final shout out, we'll turn the floor over to you.
Yeah. I just want to thank everyone involved with the genre in any way for how supportive you are, not just of the festival, but of the genre itself, because that's what it's all about. We're kind of the underdogs in the metal world in North America, and the way that this has come together has just exceeded my expectations tenfold. I'm really excited to see everyone, and just excited to be a part of this community.
Awesome. And everyone can check out Hyperspace on Facebook at Hyperspace Metal Festival. I assume you guys have Instagram and all the other fun shit on there as well.
Yeah, all that stuff. Tickets are on sale at Eventbrite. You can find the link through the Facebook page. Just do a quick Google search, Hyperspace Metal Festival. I do need to get a website rolling sometime in the next year. I've been slacking on that. That's a thing I need to do, so watch for that sometime this year.
All right. And as always, you can follow Powerful Power Metal Podcast on Facebook at Powerful Podcast, Instagram at Powerful Podcast, Twitter at Powerful PM if you're one of those kinds of people. And we also have our Patreon at Powerful Podcast if you want to toss us a buck.
Right on.
And I think I'll ask you to do the one final thing we ask our guests to do. If you could just ask our audience to stay powerful.
Hey, Power Metal fans, stay powerful.
Hell yeah. There we go.
How was that?
That was great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, thank you guys for everything you do. And thank you for having me on the show.